Well, I got the bed off last night, got the mufflers off this morning, so now I'm using a hand wire brush to kind of go through and look through everything just to get a first-hand look at how rusty it is. Good morning. It's been about a month since I started the project. I've got the cab off and the bed off. I've removed all the items, bolted on items onto the chassis except for the suspension so I can still roll it in and out. But that's going to go away this weekend. But before we begin talking about the chassis, I would like to kind of review what worked and what didn't work in the hot rod shop build. Trans cooler for the air compressor and the filter is a definite winner. I mean, this top line going into the cooler is hot. Coming out of here, it feels like it's a refrigerant. Just amazing what a cooler can do to the effectiveness of this tank. And I do see a little condensation in this filter, but all the other filters are clean. So this little pre-system works on an air compressor. I bought the 100 pack at Harbor Freight. They are great for keeping your hands clean. WD-40 in the non-aerosol works great. I mean, they made my life so much easier on the deconstruction of the chassis. My little ATV winch works. This is a excellent product to use to help you pull in and out your projects out of a two-car garage when you're working by yourself. I highly rate this. Marine battery box is becoming quite a project in itself. What I have decided to do was not only use it to power the ATV winch, but also a stereo system that I pulled out of my daily driver because it's outside now. Then the next thing came when I started charging it. I was having to take the top off, so I've ordered a couple remote battery terminal posts to put on the box, and also a quick disconnect, so then I can use this battery anywhere just by disconnecting it from the stereo system, which I already have the quick disconnects for it for the stereo system. But I'm also going to do that same system with a different color terminal for the ATV winch, and then I can use this battery box as after all my cleanup efforts. Once I started deconstruction, the garage became a mess. So it kind of looks like I'm going to have to build an 8x8 shed in the backyard to house all my components that I take off and that I purchase, because my living room right now is just, you know, a parts depot for new parts, and half of the garage is for old parts. So it's just not conducive working environment. So what I'm going to have to do is go ahead and spend a few bucks, a couple $100 and build a shed. But it'll be all right in the end. I just hate spending the money when now I'm getting involved in the actual. As I was taking the items off, I put all the bolts into a little plastic bin. That way I can keep track of what bolts I need to buy just by counting these, and I can get at least a rough estimate of the sizes and the lengths of the bolts I need for the chassis. As a prep, this is my first tool to see what shape the chassis is in. From what I have scraped, it looks in excellent shape. Part 2 will be a grinder and a grinding wheel to get off the stubborn stuff if there's any, and just to really get that deep down clean. And to be followed by a light use of some sandblasting in the hard to reach areas. So that's my game plan for prepping this chassis. Once I finish blasting the chassis, I will give it a coat of the acid treatment to neutralize the rust, and I have ordered some special protective clothing, eyewear, and breathing wear because this is very caustic product. So I cannot stress that enough. When you're doing this kind of project and you have to use some acid or some other highly volatile or caustic materials, go ahead and spend the money and get the proper attire to use it. I plan on brushing this on as much as possible, and only if it's not windy at all, I may use a spray just for the hard to reach areas. Otherwise, it'll just have to be brush only, because this is just too dangerous of a product. I'm going to follow that up with a 2K primer, and to get a nice hard finish, and I'm going to finish up with a satin black enamel coating on everything underneath. My first idea was, hey, I'll put a little contrasting color coats on some of the items. After I thought about it, no, I want to keep it simple and classy, so I'm just going to keep everything a straight black underneath and see how that looks. So without further ado, I'm going to get on this chassis and do some scraping and scratching and try to get her ready for this.
That's how we do it.